According to the San Antonio Business Journal, the fundamental differences between existing home sellers and new home builders are changing San Antonio's housing market. And why, you ask? Well, it just comes down to one thing: the incentives new home builders are able to offer buyers, which existing home sellers just can't seem to match.
Yes, that's exactly right. And home builders right now are offering really great incentives. We've seen anywhere from $5,000, $10,000, even upwards to $20,000 in assistance for home buyers. And that money can be used for anything. It really just depends on the builder, right? But what we've seen is that builders are allowing home buyers to choose whether that money would be put down towards buying down your interest rate, just bringing the total cost of the home down, and closing cost assistance. So really, whatever is going to be more beneficial to you as the home buyer, a lot of builders are willing to do.
And if you're interested in purchasing a new construction home, then you'll want to stick around, because in today's video, we're going to be going over a step-by-step guide on just how to purchase a new construction home here in San Antonio.
Everyone, my name's Alyssa.
And my name's Frank.
And we are the River City Property Team here located in San Antonio, Texas. Now, before we get started, feel free to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because we'll be putting out new videos each week about living in our beautiful city.
Right, and we're licensed real estate agents here in the state of Texas, and a husband and wife team. So if you're thinking of relocating to San Antonio, whether that be for work or just looking for a change of scenery, we would love to assist you in any way we can and just be a resource of information for you. So feel free to reach out to us with the information on the screen with a phone call, text, or email, and we would love to help. So let's jump right into this video and talk about the first step you're gonna wanna make when purchasing a new construction home, which is getting in touch with a real estate agent.
Yes, that's gonna be such a very important step. You definitely wanna have that representation on your side, even when you're going into new construction. We found that a lot of people think that because the builder has a builder's agent and they're working with that builder's agent when it comes to new construction, that they necessarily don't need a realtor, or that they cannot have a realtor. We've even heard that before, but that cannot be further from the truth. Just because you're getting new construction does not mean that you cannot have a realtor on your side. You definitely do want that representation, like I stated earlier, just to make sure that you are getting everything as promised from the builder.
Right, the agent for the home builder is just that, right? They're the home builder's agent. That's why they're sitting in that model home trying to sell that home as best they can, right? And that's no problem. However, they have a fiduciary responsibility to that home builder. Well, we as real estate agents have a fiduciary responsibility to you and you only, making sure that you're getting the best deal, making sure that everything that they said that they were gonna give you, they are in fact giving you, and make sure they're adhering to the contract.
Definitely, and even when it comes to negotiations, right? That is definitely where you're gonna want that support and that representation on your side when it comes to negotiating things in the contract or just with the home in general. And one other thing I do wanna notate, when it comes to finding your realtor, you wanna make sure that you are hiring a realtor who is well-versed in the new construction community, if new construction is what you're wanting to go with. Now, Frank and I, we have great working relationships with many different builders, from many different communities across the city. So you definitely want to make sure whatever realtor that you decide to go with, that they're well versed in the different communities. That way you are getting a community and choosing a community that best fits your needs.
And it comes down to the smallest things, whether you're looking at a specific floor plan by a specific home builder, well, they may be offering that home maybe on the north side, which is where you're looking at, but depending on your job and how far your commute you'd rather take, well, maybe that home is actually being offered at a different price point at a different part of town, but maybe that home builder, maybe that home location, that site could offer better incentives or just overall better experience. It just depends, right? But that's what's going to take you to choose a licensed real estate agent that is well versed in that area. Because, like Alyssa said, we've spoken to many home builders, and we just know exactly where their incentives are at. Now, the next step in the process is connecting with a local lender to see what you qualify for. So once you've selected your real estate agent, you will then see who they can refer you to as far as a lender. And for us, we like to work with our lender named Scott.
Yes, Scott and his team are amazing. They're very knowledgeable in what they do, and they have great communication with clients. And that's something that Frank and I are very big on, which is communication. Just because your lender is going to be such a crucial part of your home purchase, you're going to be sending documents back and forth. That constant communication needs to be there in order for that purchase to go smoothly. Now, with that being said, normally home builders are going to offer their incentives when you use their in-house lender. Now, that's, like I said, normally that will happen, but on certain cases, I have seen home builders that will allow you to use their incentives with using your own lender, so you don't necessarily have to use their in-house lender. Now, I'm gonna stress that is very, very rare. I have seen it, we have seen it, but it's pretty rare. Normally, the builder is gonna require you to use their in-house lender and get pre-approved through their lender in order to utilize those incentives. So the choice is really gonna be up to you, what lender you wanna utilize, really.
So once you've connected with a real estate agent and also then connected with a local lender in order to develop a budget, you then want to make sure you set up showings with the home builders.
Yes, and while showings are not required or appointments are not required, we would definitely strongly recommend that you do make appointments or your realtor makes appointments for you. That's just definitely gonna make your day go smoother, especially if you're trying to view several homes in one day. You don't want to, just pop in without an appointment and have that builder agent, be taking care of somebody else and you're waiting for an extended period of time, or you're having to leave and come back. Having appointments will definitely make your day a lot smoother. I know Frank and I were out showing, clients' homes a few weeks ago, and just having those appointments made the day go smooth. Our client wanted to see several homes in one day, and we were able to accomplish that and get all the homes seen that he wanted to just by having those appointments.
Right? There's so much information that home builders have, whether it's going to be a floor plan, whether it's going to be the current incentives. And if you're talking about a new construction home building from ground up, they're going to locate lots and which direction those lots are located within the community. So there's so much information, and we're not the only ones looking for homes, right? There's so many people looking for new construction homes at the moment, and you definitely want to secure your spot and make sure you have the chance to talk to that builder agent to get all the information you may need to make your decision.
Now, once you've visited all of the builders and communities that you were interested in, and you've now picked the community that you would like to move forward with, the next step is going to be picking your lot or choosing your lot and your floor plan. Now, if you are going to be choosing a spec home or purchasing a spec home, then you obviously don't have really a choice in picking what lot or floor plan you would like. That floor plan and that lot is already going to be set there. But if you are building from the ground up, this is where you are going to choose the lot. Just depends on what lots the builder has available, and you're going to choose what floor plan you want. Now, you will also be speaking with the builder's agent, regarding upgrades and pricing, and they will go over that whole list of things for you if you are going to be building from the ground up.
Now, a lot of decisions can be made during this whole process, and it seems like a lot, right? Now, Alyssa mentioned a spec home, and for those that may not know, a spec home is really just a home that the home builder has chosen to build with certain upgrades and certain features, versus what a standard plan has. So for us, we've actually purchased a spec home, and for us, we were new into purchasing a home at the time we did 10 years ago, and I'm so glad we did that, right? Because it allowed us to not have to worry about picking what color our cabinets are going to be, what kind of tile we're going to get, if we want tile at all, instead of wood floorings. Do we want stone on the outside, or do we want brick? So there's so many decisions to be made, but those are also the opportunities that you have in order to benefit off the incentives, right? Because if a spec home is built but no one really wants that one, or maybe it just doesn't come across with some families that don't want to choose that home, then that home will stay on the market for some time, and that home builder has paid some money in order for that home to be built. So they're going to want to discount that property depending on how long it's been sitting. And there, in essence, lies the incentives on homes, on their inventory, right? So they're going to build spec homes, or they might build homes as per another client. Well, maybe something happened and they no longer want that home. Maybe their financing has changed, and maybe the interest rates have also gone up, and now they're in a different situation where they just don't want to purchase that home. There could be many different reasons why that inventory home is now sitting on the lot. Well, then it's up to us and also, our clients and also the agent to negotiate that price on the home if we so choose to want to purchase it. Now, in terms of building a home from ground up, we have to pay attention to what incentives are offered for homes being built from ground up, right? So if you purchase a new construction home and have to select all your, interiors and the exterior features, well, that build is going to take anywhere from possibly 6 to maybe 12 months. Yeah, 9 to 12 months. And by that time, there may be a different interest rate being offered to where by that time you may have to get pre-approved and then also accept whatever interest rates are being offered at that moment. But some builders do offer a slight incentive. What I've seen before is a $10,000 incentive for any upgrades of your choice, but they won't match the interest rate and lock in an interest rate for that time that your house will be complete. So many different options and many different decisions to be made. So
yes, and one other thing, when it comes to the incentives, if you're building from the ground up, getting into that design studio, the pricing can go up pretty quickly without you even realizing it, right? So that is definitely something that incentives you can take advantage of in that design studio, and you definitely want to be mindful of though while you're picking out, your custom things for your home.
Now, once you've made a decision on whether you want to build a new construction home from the ground up or whether you selected a inventory home, we then want to make sure we review the contract.
Yes, and the contract is something that the builder's agent will normally send you via email, and they will go over it with you, but this is something where you're definitely going to want your realtor there as well with you, reviewing that contract and just making sure that everything that was promised by the builder to you is in that contract. You want to make sure that verbiage is correct, and just making sure that it is in the best interest for you. And that is where your realtor will come in and be able to also review that with you and make sure that everything looks good before signing. And once that contract has been reviewed, everything looks good, you're ready to sign and give your earnest money. Now, earnest money is going to differ depending on the builder, right? It could be something as low as like 1% of the home price, or a builder can have their own specific earnest money that they do require you to put down. So that's definitely something that, I don't want to talk numbers right now. That's definitely something that will be up to the builder. But once you've given your earnest money and signed that contract, you are now officially under contract on your new home.
And in regards to earnest money, don't worry, it's not money that you'll be just handing over to the builder. That earnest money will be applied to the end of the transaction for your closing costs.
Now the next step is really going to be the waiting period. So whether you're building from the ground up or you're getting a spec home, there is going to be some sort of waiting period before you can move into your new home. Now, if you're building your home from the ground up, that waiting period can be anywhere from 6 to even up to 12 months, just going to depend on the builder. Now, if you are purchasing a spec home, that waiting period is definitely going to be a lot shorter. It's normally going to range around 30 days, which is the average to close on a home.
And don't worry, if you are building a new construction home from ground up, that's where Alyssa and I shine. We will also be there right with you. So we'll be able to provide you with video as your home is being built. We'll take pictures for you. We'll even FaceTime just so you can see how the process is going. So this is in terms if you're relocating from another state and you're just not here yet, we can go ahead and supply those type of videos and pictures for you. So not to worry.
Now, whether you're building your home from the ground up or purchasing a spec home, you are going to have what's called a walkthrough of your home. And that's going to take place a few weeks prior to closing on your home, whenever that may be. Like I said, whether you're building from the ground up and it takes 9 months to close, then right before you're closing, a few weeks before, you're going to have your walkthrough. Or if you're purchasing a spec home and you're closing within 30 days, you're going to have a walkthrough also. And one thing that Frank and I do like to stress and encourage our clients to do is to do a third-party inspection of their home. Now, just because it's a new construction home does not mean that things can't be missed. So we think it's really important to get that third-party inspection and to get it done prior to doing your first walkthrough. That way, when you're doing the walkthrough of your home and going around with blue tape, making sure, or marking, should I say, things that need to be repaired or fixed, you have that inspection report with you so that you can also utilize that and use that as a resource for you.
Now, not everyone chooses to have an inspection done on their home, but like Alyssa mentioned, it's something that we do recommend our clients get. So what's $300 to possibly $500 worth of an inspection for peace of mind on such a large investment?
Now, about a day or so before closing, that's when you're going to do what's called the final walkthrough. And that's where you go through your home and make sure that everything that was notated on your initial walkthrough and on the inspection report, anything that you notated that you wanted fixed and repaired, you're going to want to make sure is fixed and repaired prior to signing those closing documents. And that's where you're going to take care of everything through that final walkthrough.
So finally, we've made it to our last step, which is gonna be closing day. And as cliche as it may sound, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Yes, closing day is where you are going to go to the closing table and sign all of your closing documents. And once that home has been closed and funded, that is when you get the keys to your brand new home and you can start moving in. Now, one thing to note is if you are out of town, or even if you're in town, you just can't make it physically to that closing table, whether you have an appointment or you have work and you can't get out of, or if you're out of town, a lot of the times the builders will send out a mobile notary to you. So you can sign those documents really from wherever you are.
So there you have it, a step-by-step guide on just how to purchase a new construction home here in San Antonio. Now, I do know that was a lot of information that Alyssa and I just spoke about. So if you have any questions as far as any part of the process, feel free to reach out. We want to remind you guys that we're licensed real estate agents here in the state of Texas and a husband and wife team. So we would love to assist you with all of your real estate needs. We hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next video.